Hey guys, what's up? We are back. I am Priyanka, and the Fanspire is back after quite a while. We've done some really interesting conversation about women's football, Indian football, and finally we are back to talk about the one and only Champions League and Premier League. And we've got some old fans back as well today. So, super excited. Let's get right into it and get everyone on screen. Hello, everyone. Hey guys.
Hi Priyanka, how are you?
I'm good. How's everyone? It's been quite a while.
I mean,
All good.
it's
All good. Champions League
brilliant
coming
to
back to
see
town.
all our original panelists together. I
Yep.
think only a couple of them are missing. Hopefully, they are going to join. So, everyone, welcome. Obviously, like Priyanka stated, it's been a long time since we did an episode, but obviously, we have been active towards women's football, the Women's Asian Cup, the disappointments, what happened, and everything else. If you have actually missed out and were wondering what the whole hype was about, the whole disappointment was about, you can visit our social media, you can visit our YouTube channel, you will come to know what exactly we were talking about. But it's time to move on and obviously talk about the Champions League nights are back, sort of the perfect Valentine's Day for many of football fans. Not for Fateh, I think. Fateh, do you think, I mean, it was a hard loss for you?
Didn't really sleep last night. But we lost to the superior team. Like, at least I think I have to agree to that. Like, we tried so hard. I think we gave with our limitations. The squad has limitations. The coach has limitations. The club has limitations. There's really no money. So I think I should not be feeling this bad. But the way the match went, those two late goals, yeah, I'm absolutely gutted.
But do you think you deserve to lose or Liverpool deserve to win the match?
Um, I think, see, Liverpool had two shots on goal. Both of them went in. None of them were, sort of unsavable. I mean, we've got problems in our goal. We've got slow forwards. So, I mean, I expected a draw. I mean, the way the game was going, I was very scared because this is just the way every inter match goes. Every inter big game goes. I
Yeah.
was very scared when we hit the 65, 78 minute mark that something could happen because but yeah, I expected at least a nil-nil draw. So but again, I can't really complain too much. I mean, I think Liverpool, the kind of options they have on the bench, the kind of players that they brought in, that quality, we are not on that level.
But like you said, it was only two shots on target.
Yeah,
Inter, for all the domination in the first 60, 65 minutes, zero shots on target in almost the whole match. One
yeah.
obviously off the crossbar in the first half. So, Priyanka, do you think Liverpool again was lucky, or it was just what the good teams do?
Listen, coming to that question of whether Liverpool was a good team or anything, it doesn't matter. We won, and that's all that matters. First half, we saw that we couldn't score. Second half, turned it around, got the goals, and I think that's all that matters. Getting the win.
Yeah.
So, irrespective if we missed a lot of shots, Inter had a couple of tries here and there. Maybe we weren't that good as people were expecting us to be. Doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, we came to do one job, and that was to win, and that's what we've done.
But
So I'm very happy about it.
considering now there are no away goals, obviously it is still a huge win. But Fateh, do you think now you still have a better chance than what you would have had last season if the away goals rules were there?
See, I think I would love to have the away goals rule back because they allow the smaller team to make an upset, because the equations change a lot. Having said that, now that there are no away
Is
goals and
Inter a
now that
small
we are,
team?
no, I mean, what I mean is the underdog, the underdog in a tie, you win your home game, you can get an away goal,
Yeah.
you can qualify. I mean, now it's really those semantics don't come into play. But having said that, now that we are 2-0 down, we know what we have to do. So, but again, can we actually put the ball in the back of the net at Anfield? Look at our forwards last night,
And feel I think it's already it was like once the second goal went in,
Yeah.
it was almost like the tie is over. But you never know. Champions League nights at Anfield, you never know. Something
No, yeah,
magical could
exactly.
happen.
I mean, exactly. I mean, look, you only need two shots on goal that Liverpool showed. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, we're still going to be fighting at Anfield. However, with our limitations, I mean, last night, our limitations really came to the fore. I mean, I saw two very slow forwards. For all the hard work of
Yeah.
Perisic and Dumfries and Skriniar, there are certain limitations. And look at Handanovic. I mean, he is a walking calamity in goal. He's been like that since last season. No money to fix it. We bought a goalkeeper on a free who's going to come in the summer. So, I mean, look, we have a lot of limitations, but you never know in football. That's why I think we are going to go there, try and score goals, and you never know.
Speaking of limitations, scoring goals, it was never a problem for Tanmay and Man City. I mean, first half, first 45 minutes, 4-0 up, the tie got over there itself. Tanmay, your thoughts? And we have Prasanna as well. Obviously, Prasanna, firstly, congratulations, champions of the world, along with, I mean, the only trophy missing for Chelsea.
Yeah, what we missed out in 2012 against Corinthians, I still remember that game. We were pretty lackluster, and Gary Cahill getting sent off, and everything that happened that season.
Yeah,
It had to happen this year, and we had to overcome two tough teams in Al Hilal and Palmeiras, who
Palmeiras,
were
yeah.
the AFC Champions League winners as well as the South American champions as well. And this is what I mean. Many teams expected, oh, this would be easy for us, but no, they're not easy. We clearly saw that. I mean,
Yeah,
one factor is probably even the weather, because you compare to the weather in England compared to the weather in Abu Dhabi, it's a totally different thing altogether.
yeah.
You're playing in that high humidity, high heat, and all, but still, you would expect the team to do the job. And I think performance wasn't pretty, but we got the job done at the end. That's all what it matters. At least in tournament football, you can have a pretty poor game as long as you win the game 1-0 or 2-1. That's all. No one else cares about anything else.
Yeah. And again, like I said, it was never an issue for Tanmay's team to score, 5 goals away from Etihad and, just cement their place almost in the next round of Champions League. Tanmay, how are you feeling, man?
Man, when last time I was in this show, I was in this talk show. I was kind of upset, because we missed out on Ronaldo. We did not get a striker, and then United got the Ronaldo. I was kind of upset. And today we're talking about 4 goals in the first half. That clearly shows like the way these players have fit into this system. Managed Pep Guardiola eventually. We didn't get Harry Kane. We don't have Lukaku. We don't have anything, but we have Pep Guardiola, man. He has been playing such an amazing football for last 6 7 months, and as a City fan, you cannot complain, man. You cannot complain. Though we were kind of upset because we lost our treasure with the Carabao Cup. But as of now, it's okay, man. We are enjoying football and it's going really well. So yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I was a mute. Like, speaking of Ronaldo, Chinmay, I mean, everyone was excited. Ronaldo, we announced it on Fanspire as well that, Ronaldo came, and all of a sudden there are rumors coming out from the dressing room that, it had just split up. The dressing room has split up because of Ronaldo. What about your thoughts on that?
Well, he's played football for 20 years now, and he's achieved, nearly everything in football. And we look at the amount of games he's played, the amount of goals he's scored, and if I've been reading reports of the English players, going against him, Maguire, Rashford, likes of that. Rashford had a little Twitter fight with Christian Falk yesterday, and to say the truth, if you say you're against Ronaldo, I think you're probably against winning because Ronaldo stands. Ronaldo is all about winning, and Ronaldo is all about that mentality that he needs to be better than the other person or the other team. So a lot of people have been saying he is the problem at United, and he is the reason United are so down below. I would probably say if not for him and De Gea, I would probably say that United would be much worse than they are right now. His goals and De Gea savings, all the saves he's made, I think they're the only reason United are at least in the Champions League and a top four contention spot right now. So I feel splits,
But
they need to
see,
come together.
we had
Yeah, go ahead.
a episode on cricket where we spoke about Virat Kohli sort of being bigger than the team. Prasanna, you
Yeah.
were part of that episode. Do you think that is the case with Ronaldo as well? Like correct, the way the stature is bigger than the club right now, and the players sort of don't just get on with it.
I don't think Ronaldo is bigger than the club. I think Ronaldo respects the club all right. That is one thing I would like to start off with. And number two, I would listen. You have a look at Ronaldo for the last 5 6 years. I would take the example of the last 5 6 years now because he's really evolved. Okay, and for the last at least last 4 years, the last 1 2 years with Madrid and with Juventus, you saw that he wasn't going to be the kind of player who would probably make those runs from the left wing or the right wing, and he would require some service. Now, if you are the Glazers and if you are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was the manager who bought Ronaldo, if you're buying that kind of a player and you know that he does require that kind of service, and you also have someone like a Sancho and you have a Rashford who haven't been giving that service, who would probably run and take the shot. We saw the most recent game against Brighton, right? Sancho had one or two opportunities to pass, he went for the shot. If that pass goes to Ronaldo and if Ronaldo scores that, everybody says Ronaldo is the best player in the world. So, it's all about what you have to do as a team, what you want to achieve as a team, and tactics again. Now, Ronaldo's been missing a few sitters. I'm not going to, lie about that. And it's not just Ronaldo. It's, Sancho's been missing them. Rashford has not had a good time at all. So I think as a team, we are creating a lot of chances now. Ronaldo's looking brighter. That last game, amazing. Amazing performance. I saw the whole game. And Ronaldo was looking back. Favorite opponent, Atletico, coming up. So, that's a good sign for United. And I just hope the tactics, they go away and they start attacking again.
Fateh, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, because look, Ronaldo is such an easy scapegoat. At Juventus, they were saying, it is Ronaldo who's holding us back. And look at Juventus this season till 31st December. They were not in the top four. They couldn't score goals. They were struggling in the Champions League. And they've had to go out and buy Vlahovic, whose contract was expiring next year, for 75 million. So, it was so easy to blame Ronaldo. Whereas now you realize that Juventus were where they were easily in the top four in these last 3 years, winning the league primarily because of Ronaldo's goals. So, I mean, how easy is it to sort of just look at Ronaldo and just make him a scapegoat and blame him?
And I just want to add this, because I think we are witnessing two greats of the game, yeah, Messi and Ronaldo. And I just want to add, you might want to scapegoat me because I'm the United fan now, but I just want to point out that Mr. Messi here, yeah, I really admire him. I think he is, if not Ronaldo, I think he is the best player in the world. And I feel he missed a penalty against Man City, not Man City, sorry, Madrid on Wednesday. And I saw, one post. And here I see Ronaldo, I think about 5 hours before his birthday, he missed a penalty against Middlesbrough. And they were talking about it for 2 weeks. They were saying that, Ronaldo doesn't need to take pens anymore. Ronaldo's not scoring. I mean, do we all really need to talk about the start Messi's had to his PSG career? I mean that the media easily has very rightly said by Fateh. He is the scapegoat everywhere. He misses a penalty, you have an issue. He scores a penalty, you say he only scores penalties. So you keep on having that narrative, and the media keeps on going on with it. So I really don't know what he has to do to prove them wrong again and again and again.
But doesn't that come with English football? I mean, if Messi was like
It's happened
the
before
rumors
too.
were.
I think it's happened before too, hasn't it? I've seen so many times. If Ronaldo gets benched, yeah, if Ronaldo gets benched, you would see posts about him not being a team player, him throwing his hand around. I mean, I don't need to say it. Yeah, I think one of the best players to grace the Premier League, Mohamed Salah, if he gets benched by Klopp, yeah, he would throw his hands around the same way, but he wouldn't get the same amount of flack. You look at Sadio Mane and Salah; they had a big fight, if I'm not wrong, once in a away game. I can't remember which game it was. I think Salah didn't pass to Mane or something of that sort. And you have a look; it happens between teammates. You're playing at the top level of football. It happens with teammates, and that comes with Ronaldo. But you can't keep on making him a scapegoat for everything. If Maguire is not defending well, you would say that's because Ronaldo was signed. That doesn't work out well.
No, I agree with it, and obviously, Prasanna will also agree. Like the whole dressing room, especially since Lukaku came in, everyone was positive about the signing. He started off brilliantly, form dropped in, the interview thing came out, and now all of a sudden, I mean, rightly he could be the scapegoat. You could see that he's not putting in efforts at some points, But getting a big personality in the dressing room, all of a sudden, I think it is bound to happen that the dressing room will divide. Prasanna, do you agree with that?
Yeah, it is. And speaking on the Ronaldo thing, I don't have problems criticizing Ronaldo when he drops a poor performance. I mean that everything happens, and that poor performances happen. But I mean, you spoke about English media. I don't think really anyone cares about English media anymore because of the biasness towards. If Harry Kane did the same thing, they wouldn't say a word about him. If he just stood there on the pitch, they wouldn't even say a word about him. But if nothing, if Pogba does a wrong pass, he would be looked as if he done a big sin, unforgivable thing or something. That's how blatant biased the English media is. I mean, of course you want to defend your English. You don't want to go hard on your own player, but at least give some sort of there should be some sort of level headed between whether you're doing an English player or doing it to a abroad player. I mean, you said about Lukaku. I mean, even I'm not sure I've read the media reports, but Twitter, we all know how this was going to turn up eventually. And yes, somehow he has kind of, I wouldn't say so much, got the fans back on side by scoring in both the semi-final and the final. So you can say, okay, he has scored, but he is and he is improving. I'm not going to say he's totally bad. At games you see he doesn't even put the work effort. At least Werner, if he doesn't score, he at least puts in the work ethic. He runs for 90 minutes. He tracks back. He does everything. But whereas Lukaku, at some points, you look like as if he's expecting the ball to come to him, rather than him rather than him going for the ball and dropping deep and try to do something. So that's the thing. I mean, of course, there are some big games coming for Chelsea, and Lukaku will have a huge impact. I mean, you look at the Carabao Cup final. You have the Champions League itself, which comes back next week. You have the Premier League games, and I think we should be going for cementing the third spot, because I think City and Liverpool, they'll do first and second. Chelsea should be focusing on like cementing that third spot, and we will know from now till the end of the season whether Lukaku really has has it in himself, or else we have to look at different options.
Yeah, and like you said, like there are so many matches to go on now, and but the best part about all this is City, who were rumored to sign Messi, who were rumored to sign Kane, who were like bashed when they signed Grealish. All of a sudden, that thing is aside. No one is talking about Grealish. I mean, he for some reason it's quiet. No one is talking about the Kane transfer failing, because you see City still performing at the highest level, and the gap they have created between themselves and the other teams. I think I can just give credit to City over there.
I mean, they are performing like this without a striker. Imagine if they had even a half decent striker in the and
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like
man.
we have a comment for like, I mean, I'm not sure if Chinmay agrees with it. Chinmay, you can go ahead and say about that.
80 million, I can only say Maguire, listen, two ways to go about it. He throws in two good performances, two very bad performances. Nobody cares about the good performances. Everybody cares about the bad performances. Of course, I'm a United fan too. I've been watching last 3-4 games have been stupid. He's been absolutely stupid. So that no look defending you see, I don't think how any defender can come up with that. And I would just it all comes back to the fact that they didn't pay 5 or 10 more million for Koulibaly when he was available, and they said because they didn't have the money. And 10 days later, I read early in the morning that 80 million has been, and they've been signing Maguire for 80 million. So they could have gone for Koulibaly, a leader at the time. He was, I would say, maybe at its peak. I don't know, maybe Fatih can help me with that. And I think if that would have happened, you would have been looking at a very, very different United right now. But the thing is, right now, I would give it to Fatih. Just want to finish with this. If you do go to sell Maguire right now, who wants him? That is my biggest question. And I think that really defines what players you have. In the last 1 or 2 years, I have always mentioned one thing to myself. You want to know how good a player you have? Just say one thing. If I put him on a transfer market, who actually wants him? See, if you want a Pogba out there, if you have a Ronaldo out there, people actually do want to sign him. Who would go for a Maguire right now? And he is a very good defender. Don't get me wrong, because we've seen him for England. Yeah, when he plays in the back three, he's amazing. In a back four, he's not really keeping up with that. So I think something really needs to change. There have been talks about him, the captaincy going away from him. Bruno wants it, De Gea, Ronaldo, a lot of leaders in that group. So let's just hope Maguire can get his head up. And about Varane, as I'm reading, Varane's been a very, very good signing. Whenever Varane's played, I've been really, really happy. But again, whenever he's played, fitness. And I think this was something which should have been highlighted when he was signed. Whenever he's played, I've seen, he's done well. And I saw this comment day before that Varane played, Lindelof played, and we kept a clean sheet against Brighton. What if the problem is Varane? I really don't think so. I don't think Rafael Varane is a problem because he has won enough trophies and played enough games in this football to show that. I just, I really hope the squad can get their head up. I think they've. I don't know if you've been following United because, of course, we are not title contenders anymore. We are not going to harm any of your teams. That is the truth. But the last 3-4 games we have really been attacking, and we concede a goal, and then we're shit. And I'm sorry to say that on camera, but we are shit, and it's 1-1. And I just hope the last game we had, the attacking ethos, looking back, good counter attacking, good attacking spirit. If we can keep that up, which we'll come back to later, obviously, and I just hope that we can do well in the future.
Yeah,
Weren't
speaking
United
of,
fans saying they were
yeah.
going to win the league when Ronaldo joined? I think that was one
I
thing.
was saying it. No, I was saying
That was
I'm not going to shy away from that. We had a very good team on paper, and I don't
The
think
best
anyone can
part is
deny that.
City, who are creating the difference. They are the quietest fan group I've ever
I mean,
seen.
nobody's seen Jack Grealish. The last thing I heard about Jack Grealish was that he was out partying in a club, and he's a 100 million
Yeah.
signing, and they're still winning 5-0. I mean, that tells you how good they are. What a
Tanmay,
club!
all yours, Tanmay.
By the way, Grealish, I mean, as we say, at the price tag, everyone expects him to score like so many goals and assists. But I mean, he's having a good season. But people usually forget that we have spent 100 million for him for 5-6 years of services. And when you look at our recent signings, Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, even Rodri, these three players, especially even Cancelo, had a kind of an average first season, and then in the second season they kind of like banged. So I'm pretty hopeful that that will happen with Grealish, and we have invested him for like a 5-6 seasons of like investment. He's like for like a long term investment, and I think if he molds into the system, when Kevin De Bruyne will be 30, 34, Grealish will be 27, 28, 29, 30. So we'll still have a that control in midfield. We'll still have the creative player in the midfield, which we had since the new money came, the new city came. We had like a proper midfielders in our team. Silva, yeah, Kevin De Bruyne now, Bernardo Silva. So now we have Foden. So I think with Grealish, I think if he keeps on improving, if he keeps on getting to the system, I think he can be a long-term, a great midfielder for Man City. I do believe that. It does exist, bro. It does exist. I'm still the admin.
But now again, speaking about say the players, Fateh, do you think right now, like you obviously mentioned, you all are lacking players, who could take on, you know, literal title contenders like Liverpool? Do you think now the money which you got from Lukaku, the players leaving, that could have been invested better?
The money wasn't even invested. It's not even a question of investing it better. Nothing was invested. Jeko came for 1.5 million dollars, and Lukaku was sold for 115 million dollars. And I think yesterday night we saw the gulf in class. I mean, Liverpool brought in Luis Diaz, and I thought that is what really changed the game in Liverpool's favor. And then they brought on, I think, Keita, who came for 50 million. So Luis Diaz came for 40, Keita came for, I think, 50 million, and I think they also brought in Firmino. I have no idea how much they bought Firmino for. I mean, you can't even compete with that sort of money. And I know that everybody was talking about how Ronaldo and Manu and Tanmay and City not spending. But I think you also have to look at Liverpool. I mean, they've only now invested in Luis Diaz, and what a difference maker he was last night. When he, the moment he came on, I think you could just see the initiatives change from us, because we were dominating that second half till then, in favor of Liverpool. And to get that player for 40-45 million, I mean, I think, again, I mean, I'm just looking at Liverpool's attack. They had three world class strikers, and then they had three world class players on the bench. And and at that stage, I think you just have to sort of you just have to wonder. I mean, we need 115 million on Lukaku, or the kind of signings that, say, Liverpool are making, where they get three players for that 115 million. Isn't that a sort of a better way of spending all that money than just on one player like Jack Grealish for 100 million? Yes, he might last 4 5 years, but isn't it better to sort of do what Liverpool do? Spending 40-50 million on one player, and then probably for that 115 million they get three players.
I actually need to agree with you because I mean even Prasanna will back me on this. So since Lukaku, whatever happened, and the players who have performed for us, and in the past, all players have been signed under 50 million. You
Exactly.
take on Aspilicueta, you take on Eden Hazard, one of the, like, he became a legend at Chelsea. You take
Yeah.
Drogba, you take Terry, who came from the academy. Lampard was signed for such a small amount. There are so many players who were obviously there was some really, really damaging signings as well. But I think
Fernando
Chelsea,
Torres.
I think it was still decent. He got us a Champions League, man. That's like, it's worth it now. The same with
Europa
Havertz.
League top scorer, and I think he won us
You
the
take on
Champions as
Giroud.
well.
Giroud, Europa League top
Murata,
scorer when
Murata,
Chelsea won. Werner, he did contribute, right? So,
Falcao and Murata. I remember those signings.
oh yes, all costly signings again.
I
Morata
remember when
50 million.
Falcao conned us, and then I laughed because next year he conned you. That was great for me.
I mean, how strikers who actually they do well in other leagues but come here and struggle. I mean,
The only
there's only a
cheap
handful of strikers
striker we
you can
signed
pick
was
who
Diego
actually,
Costa. The only cheap striker we signed was Diego Costa, and he performed like
yeah,
anything.
he Costa banged, yeah.
So I was
I mean, how
surprised,
many strikers actually come from foreign leagues and actually bang here and actually do well in the Premier League? You can actually count a handful. You can say Costa, you can say Aubameyang, um, Aguero
Ibrahimovic,
obviously for so
Ibrahimovic. I think
long.
I think Ibrahimovic was a good signing for United at the age of
Yeah,
35.
for the
I think
time
he
he came, he
needs.
was decent. I think he scored the winner in the League Cup final. I think
Yeah, he did. He
something.
scored two in that League Cup
Yeah.
final.
No, I mean, I think are coming from foreign leagues. I mean, you can't, Prasanna, you can't really get any top striker from an EPL team. If you even if you look at Chelsea, the late 90s, Ruud Gullit, Viali, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Gudjonsson, the like, everybody, even Drogba coming from France. I mean, all your strikers have generally come from abroad. So, and they've all in general done well. I'm just bringing up Torres because I thought that, okay, he might have scored in the Champions League, but for the kind of
he
money and
was
the
he
kind of,
was poor. He was poor.
yeah, I
If
mean,
you look at the bigger picture,
yeah,
but sometimes
I mean, he was
there were,
brought to win us the Premier League, but
yeah.
in overall, he won us an FA Cup and then Europa League, Champions League. But so it overall kind of says, okay, he didn't win the Premier League, but at least he did something.
yeah,
And I
No,
think,
I'm
like
saying,
you
Fateh, I'm
mentioned,
not saying
Liverpool
that.
are
I'm not
very
saying.
smart.
I'm not. The point
Continue.
you referred to before. I'm saying all strikers that come from foreign leagues, now at least for past few years, they don't. At least in one or two seasons, they don't kind of say hit the ground running. Unless,
Unless you're
that's what I
City,
was wanting to
unless
say.
you're City and you sign a player.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone is in awe with what Pep could do. Forget about City could do. You give
yeah.
an average player to Pep, he will turn that player into a world class player at some point of time. And
You only look
you
at
know,
Raheem Sterling, the way
I,
that he
I
has
was
just gone
I
above
was
and
going to
above and
say I
above.
was going to say about Riyad Mahrez. We knew how good he was when he was at Leicester, but coming at City, he just gone a step above, and he still doesn't make the starting 11 every time. I mean, to think about that, Sterling starts over him, and now Sterling is performing. Silva drop in form, but brilliant again in the Champions League. I mean, I think you know sometimes a manager is what turns the team around. And Chelsea were lucky we got Tuchel. Tuchel did turn around so many players. At the start of the season when Alonso came in, Alonso was brilliant as well. But then, you see managers like Klopp as well. Klopp never believed in, all the big fancy star signings as such. And even if it flops, it's fine. It's like 30-50 million max. Right now it's like change for all the big clubs. So, respect to Liverpool on that front.
It's such a nice day. People are talking like they're not bantering Liverpool and not being against us for once. Once being all nice to
There
Liverpool
will be a
fans.
time. Don't worry. There will be a time.
No, but honestly, like Fateh, I'm so glad you brought up, Luis Diaz. I was so impressed with him, like in the first match itself. Like, if you, there was an actual 2 minute clip of how well he played in that one match. You could just see him going for the ball, just putting in the work, and I think that makes more of a difference than obviously you've got to come in and score, but just putting in the work that helps the team so much. And I'm so glad we've actually gone ahead and signed him. And Joshua also, as we were talking about Pep, he's like send Maguire to Pep. Pro-
No, but last night, I haven't seen a lot of Luis Diaz. I only saw him in the Champions League. I knew he was a good player, but last night, the moment he came onto the pitch, I think the initiative just went away from us. I mean, we were dominating the game in that second half, not the first half. But the moment Luis Diaz came in, I think there were these two runs that he made at the defense, and it just felt like we've run out of gas. And here was Liverpool bringing in three players. This new. I mean, I think it's overlooked, but this new sort of change where you have five substitutions coming in, that also has an impact, because if you have a good bench, which I now think Liverpool really do, I mean that can really change the whole game. 70 minutes we were matching them. Suddenly they bring in Keita, Luis Diaz, Firmino had I think come in earlier on, and I think the game just went away from us. I mean, it's amazing. You have to have that bench strength and that bench quality.
yeah,
Now
absolutely.
speaking about the Champions League itself, now we have again the second set of matches of the first leg in the coming week, where obviously I think the match to look out for is United versus Atletico Madrid. You know, an ultra attacking team versus ultra defensive team. Both the teams sort of struggling. Atletico Madrid lost to they were the champion last season, and now they lost to place 20th, and this season hasn't been there. So Chinmay, do you think it was you were glad that Atletico Madrid is facing you right now?
I listen. I'm glad they lost yesterday, and I'm very happy because Ronaldo scored yesterday. But I think this is exactly what my point is about the Champions League. Champions League, it takes out
Before
all the
Chinmay, before you continue, I just wanted you to answer this, and everyone else follows after that.
well, not Poch,
Obviously for United.
not Poch. I would go for Ten Hag, and the correct transition for me would be Ten Hag next, and Rooney, coming after Ten Hag.
So my question is, why did you not make a play for Conte? 1 week later, he's at Spurs. It seems like a bad fit right now. I
Yeah.
know that Arya is, he's not here, but don't you think Conte would have made more sense for Man U?
Just
I
like
mean,
Spurs trophy cabinet.
Do you do
He's
you
the
think
history of the Tottenham.
Fateh, I'll tell you what. Conte has a when Conte has a problem, yeah, he speaks to the board and he speaks publicly about it. And the
yeah.
Glazers, they don't really, want that kind of a man. And that is exactly why I'm scared that they might go for Poch, because and exactly, you're looking at whatever Patrick Kluivert has said, and I actually want to just say, you look at Poch and you look at how he's handling the star players of PSG, and I don't really think that he's really thriving in that league. I think he's just getting away with it. He came against Madrid too. I think Verratti was class. I think Mbappe was class. But I would say I don't know what your opinions are again, but I think individual brilliance. I wouldn't say there was a lot of tactics coming down, and also add the fact that Ancelotti was really playing defensive that day. So I really think in a league like the Premier League where you've already got Pep who's killing it, Klopp always wants to win it. Thomas Tuchel is there. I don't think a person like Poch will be able to survive. And I know everybody says that he took Spurs to the Champions League final, but I really don't see how he'll be able to do that with a star-studded team like United. He can't do it with PSG. You've got I wouldn't say the same egos, but you've got kind of the same ego, at the same amount of star power United. So I really don't think in a league like the Premier League he'll be able to do it with United. And coming back to the Champions League, quickly, I think it takes form completely out of the window. I'm happy Ronaldo versus Atletico. Poch will get Kane. I don't really want Kane, right now. I don't really want Kane. If you've got Ten Hag, you would probably, if you get Ten Hag, I would tell you, number one, Donny van de Beek would love to come back to United. That would be number one. And number two, Fabrizio Romano has been speaking about we getting a striker. What if somehow, I don't want to be spook for someone like a Haaland. What do you think about that? Because it's never impossible with United. If the Glazers wanted star power, they went for Ronaldo. Nobody was expecting that signing. And let's stop playing Joshua's comments. Let's. I'm going to have to answer to all of them, and they're all on Maguire right now. So yeah, as I was saying about the Champions League, Ronaldo, he loves Atletico, loves the big games. He's been doing it absolutely in the Champions League this season. And I think because it's an away game, but you've taken out the away goals rule, I think it will be kind of an attacking game from United because there is no away goals rule. Even Atletico will come out firing. And I actually feel somehow on paper our team's really good. Pogba off the bench, cool. McFred, you have to play them to stop the other team attacking, even though they're not the best. And I feel we might just get the edge next week. That's what I feel personally.
What about Luis Suarez with his Liverpool connections playing against Manchester United?
Well, ex-Atletico keeper De Gea will make the save then, and he will break their hearts again. And ex-Atletico hitman Cristiano Ronaldo, I would love to see that hand go up again. 5 for me, 0 for you. Imagine that happening next week. I would love to see that.
But like you said, now you don't need to play McFred as such if you talk tactically, because you see Atletico Madrid, they are not going to attack. Even if they try to, they don't succeed in that. So don't you think it's just going to play into the hands of United that you don't play McFred, you play either one of them and get in an extra midfielder or an attacker over there?
Well, the first few games after Pogba came back, that is Middlesbrough, Southampton, Burnley, we played Pogba, Bruno, and McTominay, and we drew all games 1-1. And I'm saying we drew all games 1-1, but there were chances for the other team to score 3, 4, 5, and that is all because you might say that McFred is, it doesn't work at all. But due to the options we have right now, Pogba's never going to sit back and defend the whole game, and that is the truth. He always loves to go ahead. And Bruno Fernandes, he loves to play hero ball again. So I wouldn't really expect him to go and defend with McTominay. So whatever you say about McFred not being to that quality, they will have to play together. And I feel Randy also trusts Fred and McTominay. Now somehow Fred has been giving you assists and he's also been scoring. So maybe that side of him will come out against Atletico. Never know. But I feel on Tuesday, on Wednesday, when the game is, I feel this might just be the first game where we actually play into the hands of Ronaldo, because this is a game where you don't have form, you don't have consistency, you just need one good moment, and you're ahead. And I feel a game like that, you might as well see Rashford not playing. You might as well see Pogba might come back on the wing. You never know. A moment like that, you just need one ball or one header, for Ronaldo, and not just Ronaldo, Bruno for that matter. He's just scored against Brighton. So a good moment, a good 10-15 minute moment for us. If we score, we win. That's cool. And I feel for that, to have those kind of moments, McFred might just have to play. And that is exactly why we needed to sign someone in January, but you don't sign someone. So, all cool for you.
Yeah, and speaking about now the matches which are going to come on, obviously we wanted Arya for this, but the big clash of the weekend in the Premier League is City versus Spurs. I mean, as quickly Spurs have been, their trophy cabinet has been taken over in one season itself by City. I mean, that's the dominance City have right now. Do you think, Tanmay, do you even need to worry about the Premier League?
Obviously, we have to win Premier League, man. We have Liverpool team who are, they are not gonna stop. They are relentless team, so they are obviously gonna, keep pushing us. So obviously, this game is important. But I'm not worried about Spurs as I was before. Spurs are now not playing the way they were supposed to play. I thought they'll make a very good, they'll get a good result under Conte, but I don't know what they're doing right now. What their playing style is. They that game against Leicester, they have like a kind of a good sometimes good sometimes bad performances, but I'm not that worried about this game because we are actually playing good and they are not in good rhythm. But in terms of the long Premier League, I mean, yes, we have to worry about Premier League, man, because Liverpool, they can grind out results from anywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, and we just saw like comment from Kshitiz that United are eyeing Calvin Phillips as well as Declan Rice. I think any one of them could be a big boost to United. But at the same time, even Chelsea is now sort of in the race for Declan Rice, regardless of the price. And apparently, he does want to come back to Chelsea. So, Prasanna, your thoughts if Chelsea do lose out on him?
Oh, Declan Rice.
Yes. I mean,
I
sorry,
think we
Priyanka, we
need
are not talking about Liverpool because like Liverpool don't spend so much, and I think I'm just praising Liverpool because you all already have Fabinho who can handle their midfield right now.
I
So
still don't know how they got Jota for 40 million.
yeah,
Yes, every time he scores, we gotta look at that tweet on how we placed goals for him. But yeah, but I don't think even Declan Rice would make a impact to United. I don't know why are we still talking about any player making an impact because it's not going to be one player making an impact. It's just United that's in shambles. One player is just not going to make an impact at all.
how
I
the
just,
transfer period.
I want to take this moment. I'm not answering, Priyanka right now. She can have a moment right now. But you look at Declan Rice. If West Ham are asking for 100 or 100, 120, yeah. Why don't United or Chelsea? Why don't they actually look at some other options? You have Tonali, yeah. You have players who are outside the Premier League, not so overpriced. Go for something, like what Liverpool are doing. You don't always have to pay 100 or 120 million. Go for the tried and trusted players, 40, 50, 60 million, and make a good signing with that. We've got, we just talk about January. We had 3 or 4 CDMs we could have, bought for a 5-10 million mark. But, we're waiting for Declan Rice. Declan Rice comes in for 120 million. Just telling you, he's an amazing player, great player for West Ham. Not going to take that away from him, but he signs for 120 million. He doesn't solve the problem. Then what? Then what? Then what? You sign another player for 100 million?
But the fact everyone is going after Declan Rice, especially the Premier League clubs, it's not the money. You can see what he's doing in the
No, I
Premier
know,
League.
I know, I know. So exactly, this
With
is where you
players
act
outside, it's
smart.
always a risk.
This is where you act smart. And also a very interesting point, we need. I just want to end with this: is the player who's going to come out from outside the Premier League. The biggest example which I can see, Bruno Fernandes, yeah, for United. The biggest player, whoever's going to be coming out from the outside, he is always going to have the urge to perform more than an English player because he wants to prove himself in the English Premier League. And I'm just going to end it with that because all the English players, you have a look, not just at Declan Rice, I'm just talking about any English player. They know that they already have a name there. Someone like a Bruno Fernandes, yeah, I think Newcastle signed a Bruno right now. Luis Diaz, these people they want to prove themselves. They want to prove what they are in the Premier League, and that is why they're always going to give everything on the pitch. So I really want us to go out and not spend 100, 120 on Declan Rice. He will be a great player, as Sauradeep said. James Garner. Go for limited options, a good budget, sign 2, 3 good players. One player is not going to change it. Priyanka's right. You need 2, 3 good players, a good team, and then you come out with a good title challenging team.
Yeah. So maybe let's see how the transfer window shapes up in the summer. But before that, like I said, we are going to talk about City versus Spurs, and Tanmay did say he's fairly confident because of the forms, but you never know Antonio Conte, and not necessary every time. You actually don't know which Spurs you're going to face, and that is the tricky part. So Tanmay, like if you had to give your predictions, what would they be?
Mm, I think it's going to be tough to score against them, but I think we'll have a control of the ball. Uh, no, I don't have doubt in that because we have such a good system right now. All the when you involve false nine, they come deep, so we have a good control over the pitch. So, but it will be difficult to score goals. But if we get lucky, like we got against Sporting, like every shot was going in goal. Because in game like we had like 15 shots, but we end up scoring two, three goals. But
It's
against
fascinating.
Sporting,
You're winning final and you call it lucky.
no, no, lucky means like when we try, everything was going inside the goal. Because I've seen so many games where we are like 15, 20 shots and we end up scoring two, three goals. So if because obviously against Spurs, I think we'll have chances. I think we'll have a lot of shots. If we are like every shot is going inside the net, then I think we can go like 4-0 final. But to make it realistic, I think it will be City 2-0 win because I think we can keep a clean sheet. Though I know I've seen Spurs score against this team. I've seen that 4-3 game. I've seen that scoring against at the Etihad. But I believe in my defense. The defense that we have right now, Ruben Dias playing amazingly well. We have Cancelo playing amazingly well. So yeah, I'm pretty confident. So 2-0, 2-0 will be my prediction for this game.
I'm going to ask for predictions from the rest of you all as well. Priyanka, you can go first.
I don't really think Spurs are gonna do it. I mean, I've been watching them. I wish Arya was here so I could tell him that to his face. But yeah, I think I see City just getting a 3-0 win.
Okay. I think you're on mute. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
That Conte has lost 3 games on the trot. He has not lost 3 league games on the trot since his days at Atlanta,
Wel-
way back in,
Welcome to Spurs.
yeah, way back in 2008 or 9, somewhere like that. And on top of that, I'm so surprised at the players that they bought. I mean, Kulusevski's best days were playing in a 4-3-3 at Parma as a right wing forward. Now he's come to Conte and he's expected to play, I think, on the wings as a wing back. I'm just so surprised at what Paratici is doing there. And Paratici is the man that Juve fans blame for the mess that Juve are in. So for Spurs to actually take him, to trust him, and then to get Kulusevski rejected Conte when he was at Inter. We wanted him. Kulusevski said, "No, I'm not going to be playing wing back." Today he's at Spurs playing wing back. I mean, I'm really surprised at what the logic is, in that signing. And now Conte's come back, I think, in the media, and he's sort of said, I've not gotten the players. They're not spending money. I mean, this is, I think, if they lose to City, it's a full blown crisis this year at Spurs. So I really hope for Conte's sake they can get a draw. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
it's a 1-1 draw.
I just think that Kulusevski maybe won't play as a wing back as such because the past few games, what I have noticed, he is right up there along with Kane or Son or Mora, whoever is there. And obviously, as a wing back, maybe Conte is trying to change it that he gets involved in the attack a bit more than your traditional wing back. But let's see. You never know what Conte is thinking, what Spurs could do, what Spurs are capable of, whether they are going to explode themselves or what. You never know. So it's obviously a match up to just
Unless they're
tune
playing
into as a
against
neutral.
Chelsea.
Sorry, what?
Unless if Spurs play against Chelsea, it's only one way.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was genuinely scared when Chelsea were playing Spurs and Conte. Forget the League Cup matches when they came in the Premier League, thrice in a month. I thought, okay, maybe third time lucky or something, but Spurs being Spurs, Chelsea being Chelsea, I think that's where it is. Prasanna, your predictions for the match?
I think it'll be 3-0 to be honest. I mean, City, the way they're on, if they. Tanmay said they had 15 shots a game and they scored 2 goals. I was thinking, wait, is he talking about Chelsea? Because that. Oh, sorry, we don't
The
score.
exact
We
thought,
at least score 2 points. We don't score.
exact thought I
Yeah,
thought.
but I still remember. I think it was last year or something. There was one long kick from Ederson, and it was Gundogan
Yeah.
just put Sanchez on the floor. Bye, see you, and then he just scored. And I think City are too strong for Spurs. I think it'll 3-0. If lucky, 3-1 probably.
Yeah. Chinmay, do you want to back your Manchester rivals?
I think it will be a close game. I think everybody is saying that City is going to go and just kill off Spurs, and I think City has got the class to do it. And City, there is no reason City won't do it, but I think I think there are reasons that Spurs will come out and spoil that party. Because number one, Conte against Pep, that is going to be a good tactical battle. And everybody, I saw all the memes on Mbappe giving an audition for Madrid. What if Harry Kane decides to do the same? And what if Harry Kane decides to show the Etihad, what they could be seeing next season? And the signings they haven't worked out for Conte yet. This might just be that one-off game where he gets them, because I remember I've seen it. Conte in a big game always gets the Spurs players going ahead. I saw it in the most recent game, if I'm not wrong, Liverpool. They were not at all playing well, but somehow they managed to come up and give up a good enough performance. So if they're able to do that at the Etihad, I wouldn't just blame them. I would actually go for a draw maybe. I think high scoring draw, 2-2, something 2-2, 3-2. But I just hope City don't go, score 4 or 5 again.
I think as a neutral, it that is what you can hope for. That Spurs sort of do give a fight to City, and we watch a good game. But obviously, if that happens, Tanmay and his fellow City fans are going to have their hearts in the mouth. Just
They're
watching,
still going to win the
thinking,
league. If Tanmay thinks they're not going to win the league, he's just being humble on the Fanspire show tonight. They won the league. The only thing their energy cup is gone, and they won the league. They are already thinking about Champions League. Pep is already thinking about me. And if Pep wants to play some games in the media like he has been doing this week, Liverpool can catch us. They're always behind us. I don't think even Pep knows the truth. They have the league in their hands. It's too good a lead. They've been very, very good till now. And I think the only actual trophy they might have a lot of competition for is the Premier League. I don't think one result really deters their Premier League challenge.
yeah. So that's it, guys. I mean, it's been a long time since all of us were on Fanspire together, and it was a brilliant episode as always. So thank you, everyone, from Priyanka to Fateh, Tanmay, Prasanna, Chinmay. Thanks for coming on, and for everyone tuning in as well. Obviously, bantering United, bantering Maguire, posting your questions and everything. That is what we love to see from everyone getting involved, whether you're in the comment section or you're on screen. you know so thanks, guys. Brilliant episode. Best of luck for your upcoming matches, and have a good night.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys. Thank you, Chinman. Thank you.
Thank you.